Space Imperies, Part 7 Clocktime. The interceptor drones, Death's birds, are deployed into space and are torn into pieces among sparks shining in the vacuum under the Aquila's preemptive fire. The launcher penetrates into the tubes in one of the exclusive loads. The Aquila, with its rotting engines, accelerates in atmospheric flight and rises into space. The Aquila, an interstellar exploration spacecraft, swept through space like a falcon. Their plasma engines were roaring, leaving a blue energy trail behind them. On board, the crew remained calm, although their hearts were beating at the pace of danger. The captain, with penetrating eyes and silver hair, observed the main screen with determination. The interceptor drones, known as bears of prey, had been deployed from the base on Mars. Your mission: intercept any threat. The launcher, a small auxiliary ship, entered one of the cargo exclusions of the Aquila. His pilot, an engineer named Tex-Mex, was sweating under his space suit. The lights were blinking as the Lancer entered. Tex-Mex shrugged his fists, remembering his grandfather's stories. The Aquila accelerated, leaving behind the orbit of Mars. The captain knew that they could not allow the threat to come from Earth. But I also knew you weren't alone in this struggle. There were forces beyond, that connected what was left of humanity and people. And so, as the sparks flashed in the vacuum, the Aquila crew prepared to face the unknown. Their hearts were beating at the rhythm of danger. Because at that time, on that ship, a new legend was being written. One that would resonate and change fate. Tex-Mex, the launcher's pilot, is a riddle in itself. Her story is woven with threads of intrigue and secrets that unfold in the vast space. Although its name suggests a mixture of cultures, its true identity remains hidden under the helmet and space suit. Tex-Mex is said to be a deserter of the Earth forces, a fugitive who found refuge in the shadows of the asteroid belt. Others claim that he is a spy, sent by some faction to gather information about the movements of the Aquila and its crew. The truth is that Tex-Mex is an expert in risky maneuvers and navigation in hostile environments. His abilities have kept him alive on more than one occasion. What motivates you to face the dangers of deep space? The Aquila crew is watching Tex-Mex carefully. Her eyes, behind the helmet veil, seem to hide more than they reveal. What secrets do you keep? What connections does it have to the enemies and allies? The mystery behind the Tex-Mex pilot. The space, vast and dark, the Aquila accelerated, leaving behind the orbit of Mars. The captain knew that they could not allow the threat to come from Earth. But I also knew you weren't alone in this struggle. Forces beyond their understanding connected what was left of humanity and people. The Aquila crew was preparing to face the unknown. Their hearts beat at the rhythm of danger, and on that ship, a new legend was written. One that would resonate and change fate. Meanwhile, Earth's aerospace forces were deployed from the orbit of the Moon. The AI android Mental and Dr. Trollope contrasted the developments of systems to analyze the functions of Punto Cero. Time was running, and the fate of Mars and humanity was hanging like a thread. The investigation room in the Aquila was soaring in advance. The artefacto, an ancestral relic of impossible geometries, rested on a table of analysis. Dr. Trollope, with her eyebrows and a feverish look, bowed herself to him. His fingers danced on the analytical keyboards on the engraved surfaces, looking for patterns, connections, and answers. Mental, the android with an emerging consciousness, observed with curiosity. His algorithms analyzed the properties of the artifact. Could an artificial being understand the secrets that lay in that strange relic? Could you manipulate the space-time curvature? The calculations of Punto Cero, the advanced analysis system, were projected on a holographic screen. The equations challenged accepted paradigms, and Menthal's voices resonated in his processor. What did those numbers mean in the formulas? Captain Jax Rylan, in his impeccable uniform, joined the investigation. His eyes scrutinized the artifact. If we can manipulate the curvature of space-time, he said, we could change the fate of Mars. But the threat from Earth was overwhelming. Space forces were deployed from the lunar orbit. What did they want? What secrets were they chasing? The truth was hidden in the shadows, and the Aquila was becoming the epicenter of an interplanetary struggle. The artifact, with its engraved symbols and its latent energy, seemed to whisper. What secrets did he keep? What connections did it have to the three suns and the space-time curvatures? The answer could change everything. The investigation room, it had a hopeful atmosphere. The artefacto, of impossible geometries, is an enigma that challenges understanding. Its properties are as mysterious as its origin. The artifact does not follow conventional geometric laws. The surface of its angles does not match the Euclidean rules. The patterns engraved on its surface are intertwined in fractals on different logical bases. And it emits a subtle but palpable energy. Sensors aboard the Aquila detect fluctuations in the electromagnetic field around it. Is it a source of energy? Or a dimensional door? Dr. Trollope insists that the artifact is related to a key to navigate between star systems. They believe that the artifact has the ability to manipulate the curvatures of space-time. Could it be an interstellar travel device? Or a tool to bend the space-time continuum? Those who study it experience strange visions. Impossible equations, whispering voices, and dreams of impossible geometries approach their minds. Dr. Trollope has wasted hours of sleep in her search for answers. The Aquila crew faces uncovering their secrets at all costs. The investigation room was ringing in advance. Dr. Trollope, with her eyebrows and a feverish look, had formulated a bold theory. Could they manipulate the space-time curvature? Could they open a door to the unknown? Captain Jax Rylan assented. It's time to test the theory, he said. The crew prepared for the experiment. The artifact was placed in a confinement chamber. The calculations of 0 point were projected on a holographic screen. The energy accumulated. Space-time seemed to vibrate. And then, with a flash, the room transformed. Gravity twisted. The stars seemed closer. The crew looked astonished. The artifact had opened a gap. A window into the unknown. Was it a wormhole? A shortcut through the cosmos? No one knew for sure, yet. And then, from the other side, Captain Rylan smiled. The experiment had been successful. What secrets were waiting beyond the gap? What cosmic mysteries would be uncovered? The crew prepared to cross. Fate called them. And the artifact, with its impossible geometries, guided them into the unknown. The result of the experiment surprised everyone. Mental identified stellar mapping. The Aquila spacecraft was 1 light-year from the solar system, and that was in an infinitesimal fraction of a second. The processing speed of the android's artificial intelligence allowed real-time conclusions. Captain Jax Rylan, with his impeccable voice, gave the order. The crew hurried to verify the coordinates of re-entry into the solar system. The control panels were flashing with star data. The gap behind them seemed to close slowly. Mental, with his emerging consciousness, analyzed the trajectories. The stars aligned in familiar patterns. The solar system was in sight. But something was different. Something had changed in the fabric of space-time. Dr. Trollope, with her eyebrows and a feverish look, murmured, "We have altered reality." The artifact, with its impossible geometries, had left a mark on the cosmos. Captain Jax Rylan assented. "Let's go back," he said. The Aquila prepared to cross the gap once again. Fate called them. And the artifact accompanied them on their return to the solar system. The crew is preparing for re-entry. Aquila crossed the gap and returned to the solar system. But what they found left them breathless. Mars wasn't where it should be. Its orbit had shifted slightly. The Earth with new continents, the view of the Earth was different. The Jupiter moons were in unexpected positions. Ganymede, Europa, Io, and Callisto seemed to have changed positions in their orbits. The asteroid belt showed relative position changes. The crew looked astonished. What did all this mean? Have they altered reality or simply discovered a new layer of existence? Captain Jax Rylan, with a loud voice, gave the order. "We will explore these changes. We will investigate the consequences." Aquila entered the solar system. Fate called them again. They had skipped the space-time curve. Mental, with his emerging consciousness, analyzed the data. The equations twisted like snakes. Time, like a turbulent river, flowed in unexpected directions. Have they altered the very structure of the universe? Dr. Trollope, with her eyebrows and a feverish look, murmured, "The gap not only led us to another place, but also to another time." The artifact had transcended known dimensions. Captain Jax Rylan, with a strong voice, gave the order, "Let's record everything. Every anomaly, every change. We will discover the truth behind this space-time curve." The crew prepared to explore. The Aquila crew has formulated various theories to explain the changes observed in the solar system after crossing the space-time gap. Although they are not yet certain, here are some of the hypotheses that have emerged. By altering the space-time curvatures, they could have affected the gravity of the planets. Mars displaced and the orbits of the Jupiter moons could be a consequence of this manipulation. Have they crossed to an alternative reality? The changes are indicative of a different version of the solar system. The correlation of star positions with incorrect dates suggests that they have also altered time. Are you experiencing temporary effects on your return? Interference with other dimensions. Are the changes the result of interaction with parallel realities? The crew is still investigating. The current date, according to the correlation of star positions, is 1947. The crew of the Aquila is at a distant time, 400 years back in the past, where the stars and planets take old relative positions, and the ancestors still walk only on Earth.